Let's talk some day trading strategies for beginners and really for everybody, but I want to really encourage you to please think twice before using the strategy. And I want you to know up front, I'm not going to sit here and talk in theory the whole time. I'm going to use some of my personal day trading results that I caught on video to illustrate this exact idea of how it can happen. I do need to set up some context first, but after that, like I said, I'm not going to sit here in theory or, well, I read in a book once that this is how things might or are supposed to happen. None of that. I'm going to show you with, like I said, real life results. So to set the stage, to set the context here, I was looking here at mRNA, and before the market even opened up, I identified 408 as a level that I really liked. It stood out to me. Now the reasoning, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because that's not the point. But the point here is that during your pre-market, analysis, watch list building, all of that, where you're setting up trade plans, finding situations, setups that you like, you're going to come across certain areas. And that's all great. That's part of trading. That's how you avoid gambling, right? You're setting up a plan and you're putting out and mapping out certain areas that you like. So there's no harm there. And I would argue that is definitely a very wise thing. But this is what I want you to really think twice about. And what you need to be thinking twice about is that opening minute of the day. That first minute. I understand you've identified levels that you want. Like I said, and as you're about to see, mRNA 408, really like the level. But what I would encourage you to do is just think twice about putting on any sort of trades during that first minute. Now, in this video, it's a little different because I put on the trade still within the first minute, but it was in like the final 5 seconds of that first candlestick that was forming. But my point is when the opening bell rings, be very careful. Think twice about entering into a trade, certainly within that first 30 seconds. Maybe first 45 seconds, but without doubt, in my opinion, first 30 seconds. Now, I'm not opposed to it, and I will do it every now and then, but it is very rare, and I want to share with you and show you why, like I said, thinking twice about doing it on any sort of routine basis can be a very tricky way to go about it, because you can put yourselves into some very frustrating situations here. But if I can encourage you to do one thing, just hold. Just hold off. Hold. For those of you Braveheart fans, you get the meme here, but just hold off as much as you like levels. Just hold off and try not to act, like I said, for sure within the first 30 seconds. I'd say pretty for sure within that first 45 seconds, but just hold off. I get it. Things can look so great. Levels and trade plans can all seem to act and have everything in line and be set up for just great movements, but just hold off. And I want to show you now why that's the case. So I'm going to go to this first part of the clip, and I want you to observe 408, and you will notice that during this first clip, the price actually goes down below 408. But after it goes down below 418 or 408, just take notice of what happens. Watching 408 here on mRNA, very curious about this level, but it's looking like it's going to open right around that area. And it's always super risky to take that opening candle, but sometimes if you really like the setup, I'm willing to do it. And I really do like this setup, but I'm still not quite sure. Hopefully, though, it doesn't go straight down through 408, and I don't have to make that decision right away. So let's see if this thing wants to bounce up a little bit first and then come back down. All right, perfect. And that's why you don't want to take that candle. I could have taken that candle on that opening minute at 408, and then I'd be stuck in this right now. So that's why super shaky, super sketchy to do that. Now that was pretty crazy, huh? Now I want to just quickly go through how things worked out, just in case you kind of missed it. But the price at the beginning did drop down through 408 and went slightly down below it. But then, as you saw, after that occurred, so after the price went down through that level, you witnessed exactly what happened, and that was just an absolutely huge move back to the upside, where the price went bounce, all the way up to there. Now, I should note, for those of you that are beginners, I was wanting to go short, meaning I wanted to see the price go down, because going shorting a stock allows you to make money when values go down. So if you're confused, wait, Clay, why was going up a bad thing? That is why, because when you go short, you will lose money if prices go up. So had I gone in, had I acted, had I not held during that first minute and just sat back and observed, I would have gotten in somewhere right around there. And then as you just saw, all the price did after that was go up and up and up and up. And assuming that I'm a disciplined trader, assuming that you're a disciplined trader, then that move there would have completely knocked me out. Had I been a little undisciplined, that loss could have spun out of control in a big way because it bounced up almost $10 in that first minute. So I'm glad I thought twice. I'm glad I hesitated. I'm glad I thought, you know what, Clay? As much as I like 408, let me just hold off. And I want you to do the first thing. Just hold off on that first minute. Just hold off. Just watch, observe. And if you watch and observe, not all the time, but in many cases, that level comes back into play and you can actually get a trade on. So at this point, let me go and show you what the benefits of thinking twice ultimately turned out to be by not just jumping right in, not just, getting in immediately, because like I said, if you want to scroll back and watch, it broke down through 408 within like the first 15 seconds of the day. But again, that's just way too fast. But had I held off, which I did hold off, I want to now show what happened next and what maybe just holding off ultimately allowed to, take place and, have an opportunity at. Now, I'm still interested if the price wants to come back to it, which I wouldn't be shocked at all, given how volatile this one is. So if it now wants to come down to 408, I would be interested. So in there at 408, let's see if we can get some more movement to the downside here. And all out there for $1,200. And we're 1 minute in, and my day is over. Wasn't that bonkers? $1,200 in basically 10 seconds. If you look at the timestamps, let's just call it 20 seconds to be fair. But what a bonkers, crazy first opening minute. Now, granted, when I got in, the candle was almost done finishing, but it did come back down. You heard me talk right through it. It dropped all the way down to that area, and then it eventually did start to bounce back up. But I was looking for the quick scalp. I held off. But I mean, what a crazy move for the people that got in originally to have the price go all the way up there and then come all the way back down there. Talk about a very frustrating situation where you're taking losses, and then all of a sudden the price goes right in your favor. And, in that situation, frustration could lead to, and this is the next part, things spinning out of control. So maybe you watch it come back down and you're thinking, oh, I knew it was going to come down. So maybe you get in somewhere down around there. Now look what happens with the next candle. Boom, back up it goes. Have you been there before? You get in, you get stopped out. Then you get frustrated, and then you hop right back in, and then the price just goes against you again. It really, really happens. And again, this is not theory. You saw everything play out, and just imagine, had I gotten frustrated because I took the first, 10 seconds, got stopped out, hopped back in, put myself before that green candle with that shoots right back in, and then I take another. I mean, that's real life trading. That can actually happen. But what is the way to have avoided all this? By just holding, right? Holding off, letting that first minute basically develop before actually taking any action. Because the moral is, and some people would disagree, which I respect and I can understand. They would say, Clay, you still took it within the first minute. I don't care that it was like 50 seconds in, 55 seconds in. You still took it there in that first minute. I would never take the first minute. And I 100% understand and respect that. For me, I'm willing to make a few exceptions here or there, but also in my mind, the market had been open long enough. It seemed as though the volatility had already worked out to come out all the way up there. And then when it started to come back down, like I said, that just changed my comfort level. But I understand there's no perfect way to go about it. And if you just want to make a rule and have the rule that you never do anything during that opening minute, like I said, I respect that and I can see where you'll be coming from. But at the end of the day, really, seriously, just think twice. Do I really want to hop right in and there? Because things can things work out? Yeah, they can work out. But things can also just really jerk you around like you see right here, where you're potentially getting in, then you get stopped out, then you get frustrated, you get back in, and then all of a sudden you get jerked right back out. As, like I said, that next move went all the way up there. And it can just turn out to be a very, very nasty situation. But by just staying back for a while, observing, holding off for just a minute, just hold off for a minute. And as you saw here, it turned out to me to be very, very profitable with $1,200 in basically 10 to 20 seconds. So hopefully this helps out. Hopefully this kind of just lets you be aware of some of the pitfalls that can exist, and it's just sometimes the small things that really go a long way in your trading. And one of those, that kind of that 1 minute rule, if you will, can really help out. If you enjoyed this video, if you would like me to make more of these videos where I take kind of quote unquote theory, but then also mix it in with real life results, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit that like button, leave comments, things like that go a long way in communicating to me that you enjoy these videos, you find them helpful. As long as I know that people are finding these sorts of videos helpful, then I will gladly continue to make them. So yes, think twice about using the strategy, and when you're a beginner, when you're out there trying to formulate and build day trading strategies, just starting off with these little small things can sure go a very far way. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.